The Hillway. When I was but a wee little lad, one of my favorite activities was riding in the car. However, there was one particular route I was not a fan of: the Hillway. A long time ago, in a galaxy not so far away, 'twas a warm, sunny summer day in July of 2011, the blue sky painted with clouds. I was one of, er, eh, I was on the most joyous excursion with my family. The car of choice was my dad's red 2002 Chevrolet T-Top Camaro. The destination, my favorite ice cream parlor, the Dairy Queen Grill and Chill at 2010 6th Street Southwest, Cedar Rapids, Iowa. I had just acquired my medium cotton candy blizzard, and it was oh so delectable. Once my family and I had fully consumed our frosty treats, we hopped back into the car and were headed off to home. Before we had even left the parking lot, my father, the driver, turned to ask me the dreaded question: "Do you want to go the Bridgeway or the Hillway?" And I, being a fearful young boy, would always respond, "The Bridgeway," with my small voice trembling. The Bridgeway was a road that contained two bridges along its path, and was my most favored way of getting home. But the Hillway, that was an entirely different story. The Hillway was the most despicable and chilling road known to man, with two colossal hills whose peaks were higher than I could have ever imagined. I was so terrified of the Hillway, and even though I told my dad to go the Bridgeway, he vetoed my proposal and elected to go the Hillway regardless of my best efforts. I thought to myself, "Why have thou forsaken me?" And the entire car ride leading up to the hills, I was shaking in fear of what's to come. As we were finally nearing the end of our journey, there lies the worst obstacle I have ever experienced. As we ascended this harsh terrain, inch by inch, my hands grasped the armrests of my Graco Big Kid booster seat with all of my might. I could have sworn the hills had grown exponentially from what I had known, and it seemed as though we were never going to reach the top. But alas, the apex was upon us, the dread settling in the bottom of my stomach as if I were reaching the top of a roller coaster. Although it seems we have reached the climax of our story, no pun intended, we have just merely begun. As I look ahead, trying to catch a glimpse of the horizon, all I can see in front of us is the sky, and it felt as though I could reach out and touch the cotton candy colored clouds. The Camaro begins to crest. Now, the full length of the hill lies before us. I grip my seat using all the strength I could muster, my body tensed, thrusting my feet into the seat in front of me, attempting to slow down the descent of which I had no control. I heard a blood-curdling scream from origins unknown. I turned to my sister, and judging by the look on her face, I could tell that the scream was erupting from deep within my soul. My mother, acknowledging my terror, reached back to pat my leg and alleviate these strong emotions of fear. The momentum was pulling the car more quickly. I knew that we were nearing the bottom of the hill, and the panic began to subside. Relief washed over me, and thinking the worst was behind me, I felt my body relax. My mother turned to me with a reassuring smile, and in a soothing tone announced, "We're halfway there," and I, much like Bon Jovi, was living on a prayer. The realization soon set in. There's one hill left to go, I thought to myself. It was too late to turn back now. The only way out is up. Much like the Bridgeway has two bridges, the Hillway has two hills. With a renewed sense of fear, my body grew rigid. I was a bundle of nerves. The car, once again pointed towards the sky, began its final, hair-raising climb. My knuckles were white from strain. As I held on for dear life, my face aghast, the sounds of my scream filled the vehicle. We sped over the vertex and plunged down the other side as if we were a penguin diving off his iceberg into the sea. It took me a moment to realize that my supportive big sister was trying to interrupt my cries in order to notify me that this traumatic experience had finally reached its end. Much to my relief, we finally turned the corner to our street. But then I remembered one last hill.